Hello, everybody, and good morning. Thank you so much for tuning into the show yet again. I'm here to tell you guys that it is about time that you follow or subscribe to the show wherever you listen. I know y'all are out there listening and you're not subscribing and you're not following the show, and I don't like that kind of behavior. You guys know I'm tired of working these garbage jobs, wasting my time. The links are in the description of the show wherever you listen. All the links, all the social media links, all the different platforms. Wherever you listen, all I ask is to subscribe, to follow. Please, please, I'm begging you, subscribe, follow, and most importantly, enjoy today's episode. Hello to you all in the online radio land. It's kind of what it is, right? It's weird. Ever since I was a kid, people told me I should do radio. People tell me today I could do radio. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't want to do radio. I do a motherfucking podcast. Why radio? Why is that still like, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could make more money. It'd be a stable job, in the daytime. I could do radio. You know what? I'm talking myself into this shit. I want to do radio. I'm going to be the next Howard Stern. I'm going to be the next Don Steele. The real Don Steele. That'll be me, motherfuckers. On the radio. Radio. Imagine that. Before TVs and shit, people used to just gather around a guy telling a story, like on a radio. Like the radio, you would list like the boxing match, because in those days, boxing was one of the biggest sports in the country. If you're the heavyweight champion of the world in boxing, I mean, hey, you were the top dog, There's a story of when Joe Louis, who was, for the non-boxing scholars, he's still regarded today as one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. And for good reason. I mean, his reign was supreme, and he fucked up everybody. But a guy that beat him, Max Schmeling, took his title from him. He beat him, and he was German. And this all happened during the height of him losing. I don't know the exact dates and everything, but all I know is when Joe Louis got his rematch, he went out there as the guy supposed to get his belt back. And he goes out to Yankee Stadium, which in those days I'm sure was a monstrous thing. Anybody that performed in Yankee Stadium was something crazy. It's like the epitome of America. It's like when the Beatles played at Yankee Stadium, everybody was there. It's a defining moment in American history when something big goes down in that ball field. And he went out there and he fought German Max Schmeling, who took his title. He's the heavyweight champion of the world, and he's from Germany. And the president at the time, whoever the fuck it was, something is telling me it was LBJ, but I'm an idiot, so don't take that word for it. And this is at the height of the World War, the big one, World War II, which will pale in comparison to the one that's coming. But anyway, the president called him up and said, hey, get this motherfucker for us. And he did it. And he fucking imagined the immense stress going into that fucking thing. But he made it happen. I don't know why I brought that up at all. Maybe just because I wanted to segue into World War III. Hoo-hoo, what fun is happening. It is just a exusion of one of the human's worst attributes. That's just what it is. Putin is exuding his power. He knows that he can just run through a country if he wants to, based on if the country, switches their ideals and it doesn't align with his, right? And now I don't know the whole story. People could break it down a little bit more for you. And in so many years, they'll be in books in school, and people will hear about this as the invasion. And Ukraine is actually is fighting off pretty well, right? As that's what everyone's saying. They're not going down easy, and that's great. But we all know, inevitably, that motherfucker is. I mean, they'll probably take it within a month, right? Within a month, and all we can hope is that it's fucked up to say, but all we can hope is that it is a guns and bullets war and bombs and shit, and not a nuclear war, because that is mutually assured destruction. Somebody's got to take that motherfucker out. That motherfucker being Putin and all the other guys, they got to take him out. And I don't know. Even that, does that stop it? If you went and assassinated the president of Russia, if you, the listener, if you got in your car and drove all the way to Russia and you pulled up on Putin and snatched him up with a garrote and squeezed his windpipe until it broke and nobody caught you, would they still not drop nukes? If right before you did that, he said, everybody, we're going to drop nukes all over the fucking place. Yeah, and then everyone high-fived each other and walked out of the room, and he was in there alone, and you said, through the window, choke that motherfucker out, Godfather style. Would everybody just be like, oh no, Putin is dead, we can't do this? Or would they just, I don't know, I have no idea, military tactics. I don't think that's a military tactic. That's more like espionage and being a spy, doing crazy shit. But nonetheless, I'm going off on an extreme tangent here. I had some coffee. You guys can tell I'm talking fast. I'm talking quick. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. But the ideas are coming. They're flowing, and I need to get them out to you guys. No, I mean, it is just a disgusting abuse of power, and it just shows where the strength of ideologies, how they come into play, and how forcing an ideology on a people is just because the people in power, the people we've given this power to, that we've given this trust, they're the ones who believe that this is the right thing to follow, this is the right way to believe and the right way to think, this is the ideology for you guys, especially if you want to be a part of this goddamn country. And if you don't think this way, then we're going to alienate you and all this stuff. It's incredibly detrimental. Obviously, you don't need me to say that, but it is incredibly detrimental because then you're just subject to that. If you have any wavering views, then they can do whatever the fuck they want because the government is ultimately, in any country, more powerful than the people. If need be, if the country is like set on going to war and fucking killing people and fucking people up, then, you know, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And they're not going to tolerate anybody who is against that idea. They want as many people as they can to be, yeah, we're for this shit. Fuck those people. They create an enemy. And at the end of the day, it's an enemy drawn on nothingness. It's drawn on borders. It's drawn on accessibility for each other. Hey, they have trade that we do with them, and we have access to their land in these areas to do this, and manufacturing and all this stuff. It's just a manipulation of all that. And it helps people divide amongst each other when in actuality we're all, you know, very much the same. We're all in countries hoping that the leaders won't do some fucked up shit like this. You know, the people that we put in positions of power. Now, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I retweeted something the other day. Tim Dillon, obviously I'm a huge fan, and he said something that I agreed with until he defined an enemy. So he was kind of saying, the tweet was something along the lines of, now you can see that our real enemies are places like China and Russia, not your neighbor next door who thinks differently of you. Now, I think that last part, I agree with the last part, you know, which is why I retweeted it. But then I looked at it, because even before I retweeted it, I thought for a second, I'm like, it is weird, you know, this is a quote I agree with for the most part, but to define an enemy like that, I don't know if that's true. You know, because why are they enemies? Because they have a different style of government, one that we don't agree with here in the U.S. They're more socialist, communist, whatever. I'm not a politician guy, a politics person, but we have incredible differences when it comes to the way our governments are set up. So that's how America has made a common enemy with these other countries that operate this way. Which is weird to make an enemy like that. Like, is that a detriment to the way we're living here? The only time it's a detriment is when they declare some type of war or some type of sanction or whatever the fuck on us. Then there's a detriment. But if it's just them over there doing that, that shouldn't be enough for us to go fuck anybody up, you know? Okay, why else are they the enemies? Well, Russia just invaded a country that, you know, is more or less adjusting the clauses of the business that they do with each other. And now he's attacking the country and wants the country and is attacking the capital and the whole thing, and he's acting very militaristic and emperor-like and all this stuff. Yes, he's doing that. But we do that, right? Don't we run up into different nations, ones with resources that we can take? Don't we do that? We do the same thing, right? We have a significantly freer way of living here in the U.S. as citizens, and we have a great way of masking how our country, does business, because we have great forms of entertainment. But we can't deny the fact that we spent 20 years in some, corner of the world extracting the resources of a land that we had no business being in the name of finding weapons or in the name of spreading democracy or saving a people or all this stuff. And yeah, okay, maybe there is some of that in there, but for the most part, we're making a lot of money selling weapons. We're making a lot of money taking those resources, bringing them back, and hiking up the prices for them. That's really what we're doing, And now, am I making any comparison that the U.S. is any worse than fucking these, than what Russia's doing right now? I mean, it's hard to say. It is hard to say. I live here, so as a citizen, I think this is the greatest country in the world. As a citizen, and the way that we live, yes, things are expensive, whatever, but we have infinite food. We have no problems. I mean, yes, we pay for everything. We pay for absolutely everything. And the way that this country is built is incredibly capitalistic and whatever. But this is all I know. This is, I've been to Europe. I've spent time there. People are very easygoing. It's great. It's nice. But this is all I know. And so in my mind, I like it here. I think we're good. I think we do fucked up things very often, but every country does fucked up things very often. So it isn't really fair to designate, hey, you guys are the enemy until they come and fuck us up big time. Now, that's the argument, right? They're kind of already doing that with intelligence agencies and the fact that China has all of our work there. We spend so much money doing business in China, and we pay them a lot of money for it, but we still owe them, And then you have these Russian bots, right? This intelligent shit of whatever trying to get in. So if there is going to be an enemy, it's, every country needs to define an enemy in order to make a war happen, right? Pretty much. If there is going to be an enemy, it's those two. Now, do we... I mean, don't get me wrong, we're all part of NATO and all this shit, but those two countries are pretty fucking brutal, right? I mean, it would be Russia and China. I mean, are they allies? I don't know. Again, I don't know any of this shit, but that's the worry, right? Is that they'll come together and they'll do whatever the fuck and they're going to start fucking people up bad. So... who knows? Who knows? All of it is still up in the air, and soon it'll come down. It'll come down, and we're going to war, baby. Unless you got money. Unless you got money. I always had this little jingle. Don't be poor if you don't want to go to war. Don't be poor if you don't want to go to war. Bang, bang, you're going to die. You're going to die in some fucking... some fucking Western European country where everyone sounds like they talk with shit in their mouth. You're going to get shot in the street. Don't be poor if you don't want to go to war. La da 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 da. We're gonna be making beef fried rice in this place pretty soon as China slaves. How was that? That was good, right? That was Sinatra-like. But anyway, enough of that shit. Who cares, right? Who gives a fuck? At least COVID's done, right? We don't need to hear about that shit anymore. No more. You think they'll make them wear masks on the AC-130 rides there? The 18-year-olds that just got out of college or just got out of high school? Hey, man, you're going to go fight for country, but keep that mask on the way there because you're unvaccinated. And for what you came from some butt-fuck school that they didn't give a fuck about, probably from Florida, and you're not vaccinated, so you got to wear a mask and you got to get back. So we're gonna fuck you up. You're gonna get all six shots in a row, and then we're gonna throw you on a plane. So good luck, buddy. Have fun. No. This past week, I did a lot of traveling. Maybe not this past week, but last Friday, well, 2 Fridays ago for you guys, I did a show in New York, stand-up New York. Been talking about it. It was fun. And then, but what happened was I took the early bus because I thought I was going to go look at an apartment in Jersey City. Then I realized that it would be stupid to do that because I don't have a job and yada, yada, yada. And I've rethought my whole approach to moving. And now we got another plan we're going to put into action, and the month of March is going to be absolutely hectic. But anyway, we're going to try and get the episodes up and the whole thing. But last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, Jesus Christ, I took the 6:30 bus out of Providence, and then when we got to New York, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm not going to the apartment." So I really went to New York really early for no reason. And I really didn't sleep that well beforehand, before the bus ride. So now I'm in New York. We get there. It's like 11 a.m. and we're just fucking around all day. And my show is until 10 p.m. So fucking around all day, eating, smoking, whatever, and just getting more tired. But eventually I hit a second wind. I shotgunned a Red Bull. It was great. But, and then we went out. We had a great night. We had some beverages. We took the subway home. We all fell asleep on the subway and missed our stop. It was great. We had to run up and run across the stairs and across the platform, back down the stairs. It was lovely. And but because we missed our subway, because we missed our stop, it was later than I had expected. We wouldn't have got to Kevin's crib until, 4:30, almost 5 o'clock in the morning. And we were originally going to take the 8:30 out, but I was like, bro, because I came with Johnny Cannoli, and I'm like, dude, we should take the 7:30 or the 7 a.m. We should take the 7 a.m. Fuck sleep. There's no bother in doing that. We're gonna close our eyes for half a minute, and we're gonna have to wake up, and it's gonna take us whatever. So we got some sandwiches. We walked to the subway. We took the subway, and we boarded the 7 a.m. bus. And at that point, I had been up for 26 hours. 26 hours straight on a shit night of sleep. Well, maybe not straight. I'd say, I don't know, a couple hours of sleep, right? I probably slept on the bus. And then there was that time where I closed my eyes on the subway. So we could say 2 hours of sleep, 26 hours awake, doing mayhem. I got on the bus at 7 a.m. and I slept the whole time. I had never done that. I slept the entire time. I woke up in Warwick. I was like, whoa, holy shit, the whole 3.5 hour ride. So, and I had to come back to Providence because I had to work. I had to work Saturday night. So I came back. I was probably back here around 11, back at my house, and I slept until work. I almost asked to get the night off, which would have been stupid because of what I had to do on Sunday. And I What the fuck happened? I worked all night. I came home. I tried to sleep. I mean, I probably slept all right. 5 hours, something like that. I mean, I had to be up at 5 a.m. because I had to take the 6:30. My mom was at the house at 6 to pick me up. So, did all that because I went to D.C. I got to D.C. Sunday night, but I took a Peter Pan bus right back from Providence to New York. Right back where I was a couple days ago. And again, I slept a little bit on the bus. There wasn't a lot of people on this bus. It was from Providence to New York, but there were these two fucking Dutch guys behind me who wouldn't shut up, dude. Oh, my God. Grugen si Saigen, Shigen Hangi Kang, Wangi Pang Wang. Yeah, now they're Chinese. I don't know. They were speaking that bullshit Guflagen language, that Nordic nonsense, and they were irritating me. I couldn't sleep. They were talking to each other the whole time. Who and her and he, and get the fuck out of here, man. So I barely slept, and then I got to Port Authority, and it was probably like 10:30 in the morning, and my bus from Port Authority to D.C. was at 12, so I had some time to fuck around. I went outside, I smoked a little bit, right on 42nd, like a doctor. Smoked like a motherfucker, and then went back inside, got me a bottle of water. Then I sat down and I ate my pizza like a crazy person, I guess. That's what a crazy person does, right? Sits down and eats pizza. But anyway, and then I boarded that bus, and that bus was mobbed. But I was in line. I was probably like in the group of the first 15 people that would have got on that bus. That would have heightened my chances of having 2 seats to myself. So that didn't happen because I didn't have a mask, because the guy that took me there in the daytime for the first ride, or in the morning, I should say, didn't require a mask. And most of the mask mandates are up, so I didn't think I needed one, but I guess I did need one. So I had to get out of line while they were boarding. I had to get out of line. I had to wait for this lady in a fucking booth, and I was like the second to last person on the thing because I needed to wait for her to give me the. So now I am smushed. This bus is mobbed. There's probably 2 people that were lucky enough to have their 2 seats to themselves, and I have a great tactic for that. I just go, I put my fucking bag in the seat, and I close my eyes and I put my head up against the thing. Nobody's gonna say, hey, do you think? Unless it's absolutely dire. Unless the bus is absolutely full. So, I don't know. Either way, now I had like a 6-hour ride just smushed onto somebody, had to wear the mask the whole time. And then I spent time in D.C., and it was great. Got to see Caroline. It was lovely. We got to ride scooters around the D.C. monuments and everything. That was fucking fun. And so many great food places. D.C. is a lovely city, and I don't know. It was a lot of fun. And then the ride back was a train ride. I took a train back. It was like 8 hours, dude. 8 hours. I got on it. It was 4 o'clock. I got back to Providence. It was like 11:30 at night. It was brutal. So. And the Wi-Fi sucks. I didn't even anticipate this because the train had a lot of people on it. Everybody's going to be on the fucking Wi-Fi, so I didn't even anticipate that. Plus, you're going under tunnels sometime. I'm trying to do my taxes. I ended up finishing them, but it was just I had to watch Ted Lasso on my phone. I wanted to watch it on my laptop. But it was a lot of travel, and it was all worth it. It was all worth it, and it was fun. I mean, that's going to be my life going forward. Is going to be me traveling all over the place, hopefully for comedy. You know, I mean, I still got a long way for me to be going across the land, but I am moving for it. I am moving, and this month, or the month of March, is going to be quite hectic for me. You guys know I'm going to try my hardest to get all the episodes out, but what's going to happen is I'm going to be away for a little bit, and it's all going to depend. The rest of my schedule is all going to depend when I'm actually moving to New York, whether it's going to be, April 1st is when I'm allowed in the apartment, or I can move in sooner. And there might be a little bit of a pause on a buffer period, if you will, on podcasts. But believe me, motherfuckers, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're working tirelessly. I'm trying to find a place to where I can keep all this stuff, or most of this stuff, keep this setup. I don't need a bedroom. If I get a nice big studio, I can keep most of this shit in one spot, and we can make it happen. And that's all I want, guys. That's all I want. And this is a hell of a journey. This is the shit you live for, man. I have been saving so much money, not knowing what the fuck, why am I saving all this money? I have a considerable amount of money for a kid my age saved up. I'd like to think that. Especially for one that works not in some crazy job, some field like some of these other kids are. So I am doing okay with money. I am not incredibly worried. Right now, my number one concern is getting a place to live in New York, getting a job. I'd like to get it done in the same week. So that's that. I mean, if I can get a job beforehand, that'd be even cooler. But I'm not here to tell you about the logistics. I'm here to tell you about the whole thing. Jump, motherfuckers. Take the leap. Take the leap. Don't compromise. The people that love you will be there. They will. They'll support. They will be there as best they can. They will try. Caroline and I, we really love each other, and we want to make it happen. We want to make this happen. Who knows where we'll be in a year? Neither of us want the other one to fall out of love of what they do, but it does happen in life, and that doesn't even need to mean that that's what brings us back together. It could just mean an opportunity somewhere else, and it's all worth it, man. It's all worth it. I just told you guys that crazy fucking series of events in traveling, and it was murderous, dude. The travel was murderous. 10 hours on a bus, bro. Oh, my God. It's so loud. I was going to read. I didn't read a goddamn thing because I was so just uncomfortable. I wasn't comfortable. I couldn't. Plus, the book I'm reading is kind of murderous. I don't know. I'm considering putting it down and picking another one up. I don't like that idea. I want to finish the book, but it's getting to be a bit much, a little much. It's a big, long book about fucking. It's written in old words. So, I don't know. We'll see. I got a lot of cool books over there that I want to dig into, and I'm kind of just like forcing myself to read this one because I started it. And I don't know. I feel like it's one of those books I could probably put down and come back to, but at the same time, I don't want to do that because I think if I put it down, I'll stop reading it forever. But I'm looking at these books, man. I want to read them. I want to read them all. It's just this one is big and mean. Guys, we got a big show this weekend. If you're in the Connecticut area, if you're in the New England area, show up to Comics Roadhouse at the beautiful Mohegan Sun Casino. I haven't been to the Mohegan Sun Casino in ages. I don't think the buffet is happening. COVID ruined buffets. Buffets they're going to be a lost art. They're going to be like theaters. I think I've spoken here on theaters about like movie theaters and how I think those motherfuckers will be gone soon. Buffets are the same thing, man. How that is a fucking generation-defining invention. Buffets, dude. Buffets are the best for us. Us, I mean Americans. We can keep going. We can keep eating. Just blow, blow, blow. Just keep pouring it on. Pour it the fuck on. Pour it on. I want to eat. You keep going, man. Fuck. That shit is good. Buffets. There's the one in Mohegan Sun used to be good. But anyway, Mohegan Sun, I'll be there. Show up. Ask for me. Well, not ask for me, but say you're there for me. It's only $10, and there's like, I don't know, 10 comics or something, plus the host and a host. So show up to that. It's going to be a great night, and it's cheap. It starts at 10. I'm actually getting a room like 20 minutes away because motherfuckers ain't got money to stay at Mohegan Sun. $300 a room. Go fuck yourself, kid. Go fuck yourself. I ain't getting paid for this. Well, I'm getting paid. It's a bringer show, but not enough. Not enough, motherfuckers. I plan on gambling it when I get it. But anyway, show up if you're in the area. And if you don't want to make the trip out there, if you're local, if you're in Rhode Island, I will be at the Comedy Connection March 13th. That'll be fun. I haven't done a show there in a long time. That was the first stage I stepped on. That was a comedy. Jesus Christ. People throwing things outside. That was a comedy club, and I had a blast. I had a great set, and I hope to recreate that. I hope to recreate it yet again and do even better. And those are the 2 dates I have for you this month. Like I said, this month is going to be hectic. But that's it, motherfuckers. Thank you all so much for listening. Follow the show wherever you listen. Follow the social media. We're having a lot of fun. And that's it, motherfuckers. Peace.